Hey there, my name is Alex. I'm the Silver Mont, and you saw it, I imagine. The announcement of the Nightreign DLC coming out in, at time of writing, just a few weeks. Announced at the absolute state of Sony not long ago, this is the first and only, DLC for Nightreign. I don't have any more info than you have, and I don't think I noticed anything you guys didn't. No, 10 amazing details you missed. Big red arrow pointing to thing that you definitely saw. I'm largely just making this video to hear what you guys think and to offer up my opinions on what was announced. As you may or may not be aware, some months back I made 2 videos discussing DLC Nightfarer ideas. Now that we actually are seeing the 2 DLC Nightfarers, what do they look like, based on these short clips? And by the time this video comes out, hopefully we've had some more details about them. But for right now, let's go with the official info first. Nightreign the Forsaken Hollows. If you own the deluxe edition of Nightreign, then you own this DLC. If you don't, then it will cost £13. It comes with 2 new playable Nightfarer character classes, new bosses, 1 new Shifting Earth, and more. In our war against the night, every battle left a scar. These wounds were given will, a foul life born of castaway souls. Steel your resolve, Nightfarers. This hunt must be seen to its end. From the souls and blood of the fallen, a wounded spirit follows. The Dreglord awaits. Elden Ring, trademark, Nightreign trademark. The standalone multiplayer co-op survival action game by From Software, published by Bandai Namco, is unleashing a new abomination onto players in the form of the Dreglord. One of the new final bosses in the upcoming Elden Ring Nightreign the Forsaken Hollows DLC. The DLC introduces 2 new third-day bosses, new field bosses, a new Shifting Earth, a special condition where the map sees massive geographical changes, and new points of interest in Limvale to players to explore. 2 new Nightfarers are joining the fray as well, with new abilities to take on the Night's Tide. Naturally, many people are speculating based on hollows and dregs that something to do with Dark Souls, or even Dark Souls 3 specifically, is at work here. I'll certainly not disabuse you of that notion. I don't think that's the case. In so many words, I think it'll be a new threat, as opposed to just having Gale pop up and go, I am the Dreglord, now we shall fight. But hey, you never know. Artorias is showing up as a new boss, and he has stuff to do with the dregs of the Abyss as well. People are excited to see him again. Look, I'll be real, you know how I feel. Or maybe you don't. Artorias is the Virgin Abyss Walker, and Ivory King is the Chad Abyss Cultivator. Sorry, you'll not change my mind. And because we're on the internet, I now have to say, before you start whining, that is a joke. I do like Artorias a lot as a tragic character. Do settle down. Either way, I'll admit, I'm not too interested in any of the lore stuff here, because, don't get me wrong, I like the general mood and atmosphere of Nightreign, and some of the story bits were cool. I don't really consider the game canon in the overall scheme of things, so if Artorias, Gale, whoever show up, I'm not going to read anything into it, like, oh, did Artorias, when he was pummeled to death by the Chosen Undead, show up in the Lands Between? No, it's there because they're just doing it. I know some people want Bloodborne enemies. I don't think that's possible due to rights. I know some people thought they saw the Orphan of Kos in the trailer. I didn't. Anyway, the new Shifting Earth is... yeah, that's nice, I suppose. Probably the least exciting part for me. What do you think? The most exciting part, for me, would be the new classes. Now, if you asked me what I wanted from a DLC for this game, I'd say, yeah, a new map, a bunch of new bosses, lots of the old bosses, seeing as they're already made, put a bunch of those in as well as the new ones, and new classes. Because variety is nice. The more bosses who can show up, the better, in my opinion. We don't get a new map, just a new Shifting Earth, and there are new things added to the existing map. So we'll have more things that can show up, like, oh, this the tower of that thing, or it's the cave of Big Pain, I suppose that's okay. We are getting new enemies as well, in the sense of old enemies who are being put into the game, like what are they called, the Fire Knights from Shadow of the Erdtree. Maybe we'll get some new weapons, or again, existing weapons from Shadow of the Erdtree. That would be nice. New classes though, They have a few details on the website, but I've not personally seen the official source of their names, but they appear to be called the Scholar and the Undertaker, or maybe the Abbess for the lady. Anyway, she appears to have an ability where she dashes or charges at the locked-on enemy and bonks them. So if you're locked on to something that's like above you, like say a dragon's head, she will fly up and smack it. At least judging by the clip where she definitely goes upwards. As opposed to, say, the Wilder's grappling hook, which can only really move him along the ground. If that is the case for her ability, that's going to make his grappling hook seem kind of weird, that it can't go up, but I'm not sure if that's her ult or her ability. And the Scholar, meanwhile, appears to be able to put out buffs or debuffs based on those circles. Kind of reminds me of, do you remember in Dark Souls 1, the, I don't actually remember what it was called, was it like Resonance or something? You know, you would see like those circles, and if you cast a miracle by those circles, they would be like empowered. Kind of reminds me of that. But we don't really know much about either at time of writing. What do I think of them? Neither of them are personally what I wanted. In a way, I am glad that neither are really what I expected or imagined or envisioned. I like to be surprised. How will they play? Good question. My main go-to dude in the game is I, but I like the Guardian and Wilder, and frankly I think almost every character is pretty cool and fun to play, so I'm sure these two new ones will be as well. I'll be honest, concerning the new Nightfarers, I'm actually more curious about what skins and outfits they get. The Scholar looks like he'd be perfect for a Orbeck skin, or maybe Big Hat Logan, doesn't he? What about the Undertaker? I really don't know who they would use for her. Like, I would have guessed, oh, you know, maybe Yuria or Frida. Nope, they're already taken. I'm assuming that these two characters, though, will fill in some of these stat spreads that we haven't really had filled. But we'll see, they could be the same as another one for all I know. How much will this revitalise the game and keep it fresh, though, going forward? That remains to be seen. I expect it will give it at least a few weeks worth of play for people who haven't played in a while and are just coming back to check out the new stuff. I don't see it offering any super long-term longevity unless there's something they haven't talked about yet. But from what they've said so far, that's the impression I get. Which isn't a horrible thing, by the way. Nightreign is pretty replayable as is, and not every game needs to last forever. I've put in like, I don't know, 100 hours to it, and I feel like I've gotten a good amount of time of it. I'll probably put in like, I don't know, another 50 hours or something when the DLC is out. I'm looking forward to going back to it, as I've not played it for a couple of months. But do let me know down in the comments, what are your thoughts on this new DLC? What's the most exciting part of it? Do you think it's worth the price they're asking? How are the new classes making you feel? Did you really want a new map or some new modes and so on? Until next time though, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you soon. Ciao.